It began on an icy winter morning in a small town where silence often spoke louder than words. A man named David, a former soldier and now a single father, sat alone in his modest home, his eyes heavy with the weight of battles both seen and unseen. Life after the military had not been kind to him. He worked odd jobs, barely scraping by, while trying to give his daughter, Emma, the love and stability she deserved. At just 7 years old, Emma was the light of his life, her smile the only thing that could push away the shadows that followed him. Yet even her laughter couldn't drown out the fear that one day, his struggles would become too heavy for both of them to bear. On the other side of town, in a towering estate surrounded by iron gates and long shadows, lived Eleanor, a billionaire whose life, to outsiders, seemed nothing short of perfect. Her wealth was immeasurable, her name known across industries, her influence stretching far beyond the city she called home. But money could not shield her from the truth: Eleanor was dying. Doctors, dozens of them, had tried, tested, and failed to find a cure for her rare illness. Each failed treatment was a reminder that her time was running out, and with no family left to stand by her side, her fortune felt like a prison. Fate brought these two worlds together in the most unexpected way. One evening, as David carried Emma home from school, he saw a convoy of black cars stopped near the edge of the road. A woman stepped out, her face pale, her body frail, but her eyes holding a flicker of strength. That woman was Eleanor. Their paths crossed when Emma, noticing Eleanor struggling to breathe, ran to her without hesitation. "Are you okay, ma'am?" the little girl asked with a sweetness that broke the silence. It was the first time in years Eleanor had been spoken to without formality, without an agenda, just pure, innocent concern. David apologized quickly, embarrassed, but Eleanor only smiled. She insisted on thanking them by inviting them to her estate. David hesitated, but Emma's excitement pushed him to accept. That night, sitting in a grand dining hall that seemed worlds away from their tiny kitchen table, David and Eleanor began to speak. She asked about his service, his struggles, and most of all, about his daughter. For the first time, Eleanor laughed, softly, but genuinely. The sound echoed in the hall like music long forgotten. Days turned into weeks. Eleanor grew fond of Emma's presence, and surprisingly, of David's quiet wisdom. She told him of her illness, of how every doctor had failed her, and how she had come to accept her fate. But David, who had seen death up close on the battlefield, refused to believe in giving up. He spent nights researching, calling old contacts from the army, even reaching out to people across the world. Where Eleanor's wealth had built walls of resignation, David's stubborn hope began to open doors. The challenge was enormous. Treatments were experimental, unapproved, and risky. Eleanor had every reason to say no, but when Emma placed her small hand over hers and whispered, "Don't be afraid," Eleanor felt something she hadn't in years: courage. With David by her side, she agreed to try. The journey was grueling. Eleanor faced painful procedures, moments where her body wanted to give in, and nights when even David doubted himself. But every time he thought of stopping, he remembered the promise he made to Emma, that miracles were possible if they never lost hope. Slowly, almost unbelievably, Eleanor began to recover. The doctors who had once shaken their heads in defeat were now stunned by the progress she made. What money couldn't buy, determination, faith, and love had sparked into motion. By spring, Eleanor was walking through her garden again. Sunlight on her skin, laughter in her voice. She wasn't just alive, she was living. And she owed it to a man who had nothing but gave her everything, and to a little girl who believed in miracles. In gratitude, Eleanor did something no one expected. She set up a foundation in David's name, dedicated to helping struggling veterans and single parents, giving them the support and dignity they deserved. She also made Emma the honorary, first member, saying that it was her innocent heart that had saved more than just one life, it had saved Eleanor's spirit. The story ends not with wealth or fame, but with something far more powerful: a new family formed by love, courage, and faith. Eleanor gained the family she never had, David found the support he desperately needed, and Emma, well, she became the bridge between two broken worlds that healed each other. So remember, no matter how dark life gets, no matter how impossible the odds may seem, sometimes miracles are found in the most unexpected places, through kindness, through courage, and through never giving up on hope. And if this story touched your heart the way it touched mine, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. because together, we can keep spreading stories that remind us of the beauty of being human.